Hey y'all, it's Dawn, and I'm so glad you're back. I've got another fun, budget-friendly DIY video for you today. This is another collab, and I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Now for the first DIY. I purchased several of these old windows at a yard sale the other weekend. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this one. It just sort of came to me while I was working on it. The first thing I did was clean it with the pressure washer. And let me tell you, this was a feat with my grand dog Lily visiting. As you can see, she was trying to bite the water. She is so silly. I kept hollering at her to quit because I didn't want her to get hurt. After all that fun, it was time to get back to work. I used a screwdriver and a scraper to remove the prongs from one of the panes so I could remove it without breaking it, while Lily played with her football behind me. She wants me to play with the football, that's why she's standing there staring at it. She just didn't understand that Grandma was busy. I had this roll of chicken wire in my stash and decided to put it in the place where I had just removed the pane. I used my wire cutters to cut the chicken wire down. And that's when I decided it was too hot at 8:30 in the morning to be wearing my hair with it touching me at all. So I pulled it up so it wasn't on my back anymore. Now back to the window. I trimmed the chicken wire to fit in the frame of the window. I laid the chicken wire where I wanted to start and used my electric staple gun to attach the chicken wire to the inside of the window frame. Excuse the mess in the background, but we have been in the process of cleaning out our storage building, and my husband decided he wanted to run some dirt we had gotten from Dahlonega through his gold cube. I used a screwdriver to make sure all the chicken wire was inside of the frame, so no one, especially me, would get stuck with it. I just pushed all the wires that were sticking up down towards the frame. I then used my sander to remove some of the paint. At this point, I wasn't really sure what I was going for. I had an idea, but my ideas are constantly changing. I never know what something will be until it's finished. Does anybody else have this problem? Let me know in the comments. My next thought was to apply paint remover to remove more of the paint. I painted the paint remover on and let it sit for about 20 minutes until it started bubbling. While I waited, I threw Lily's football. This grand dog is going to wear me out before her mom and dad get back from the beach. I started removing the paint with a scraper. And then I had another idea. Pressure washer. Easier and faster was my thought. And here we go again. But this time I thought I would let her have a little fun. I squirted the water up in the air and she was trying to catch it. What is it with this dog and water? She loves it. After I finished washing the window off, I set it out in the sun to dry. While it dried, we played a little more with the football. I first thought I would use Waverly antiquing wax, but I just didn't like the way it was looking. So I grabbed my Waverly plaster chalk paint and painted the entire window. Now this is coming along the way I want. I only painted the front and all 4 sides. I wasn't worried about the back. It started clouding up and thundering, so I brought everything inside to finish up. I had this chalkboard paint in my stash and thought I would paint the glass pane to make it a chalkboard. Since my foam brush wouldn't fit into the jar, I poured the paint on the glass and spread it out with the foam brush. After the first coat, I dried it with my hot air gun and applied a second coat. I should have stopped there, but I decided to add a third coat, and now I wish I would have just stuck with 2. I think it looks smoother with just 2 coats. I decided to use some of the Star Bond glue and accelerator to attach the window pane. I placed the glue on the wood part of the window and the accelerator on the chalk side of the frame. I held it in place for about 20 seconds. And wow, look at how stinking cute this piece turned out. It's perfect for a family message center. If you'd like to purchase this piece, it will be listed in my store. You'll find a link for it in the description below. Today I'm participating in another What Would You Make collaboration with some wonderful and amazing crafters. This collaboration is hosted by Zana from OK at Home DIY and Marsha from Marsha's Mush and Stuff. And this month's co-host is the amazing Sandy from Sandy Lumber Mill DIY. I love and enjoy watching all these crafters' videos, and I'm sure you will too. You will find links to all their channels along with a link to this month's playlist in the description. Now, back to the DIYs. I purchased this old, wobbly, worn-out table at a flea market for $4. I knew I could figure out something to do with it, just wasn't really sure at the time. I thought maybe the nails or screws were loose, and that was causing the wobbling. Nope. After I turned the table over, I realized one of the legs was actually broken. I used a screwdriver and removed the screws from the legs that went into the top of the table. The table also had nails in it, so I took a scraper and started prying the legs up, and then a screwdriver, and finally a hammer to get the legs pulled from the top. I also used the hammer and some nail pullers to remove the wood pieces in the middle of the legs. Once I had everything removed from the top of the table, I used my orbital sander to remove some of the old varnish. I wanted to keep the old rustic look, so I just lightly sanded it. I wiped all the dust off with a wet rag. And just look at how beautiful this wood is. I absolutely love the look of old aged wood. Let me know in the comments how you feel about old aged wood. I recently became an affiliate with Star Bond and just got some free samples in the mail, which is great because the top piece of the wood is cracked and I wanted to try to save it. I used this medium brown Star-Bond glue and the small tip that came with it. This tip is tiny, so it should work in the crack without having to make it any larger. I lightly pulled the wood apart and applied the Star-Bond in the crack all the way down the board. I then used some scrap wood and clamps to hold the top together tight until the Star-Bond had time to set up. After about 30 minutes, I removed the clamps and then applied a layer of Americana antiquing wax. I applied the wax to both sides of the tray with a Dollar Tree natural sponge. And then wipe the excess off with a paper towel. I found these simple brushed metal drawer pulls in my stash and thought they would be perfect for the serving tray. I measured 1.5 inches in from the side and then centered the handle between the other two sides at 3 inches. I marked around the ends of the handle. At first I was going to drill holes and screw the handles on, and then I thought I would give the Star-Bond and the accelerator a try. I placed the glue on the wood inside of the marks I'd made, and then sprayed the accelerator onto the bottom ends of the handles. I didn't speed up this part of the video because I wanted y'all to see how quickly the Star-Bond glue with the accelerator works. And wow, it dried that quick. I am so surprised. This stuff is great. And just look at how beautiful it turned out. I am so impressed with this tray and can't believe I made it from the top of an old table. Let me know in the comments what you think of this serving tray. I just love it. Guys, today marks the 1-year anniversary of when I uploaded my first DIY video to YouTube. As a huge thank you to all my subscribers, I will be giving away this 4-piece set of fall pillowcases. All you have to do is watch this video, which you're doing now, like this video, and leave me a comment on this video. And if you have friends who would enjoy my channel, share this video with them. That's it. You'll be entered. I'll be announcing the winner on July 19th on both my YouTube community tab and also on Instagram. Good luck and thanks for a wonderful year. This DIY is super simple and turns out amazing. I got 2 of these wood signs at a yard sale recently. I like them, but they just didn't really fit my decor. I cleaned the print with some awesome cleaner to remove all the dust and dirt that was on it. And I noticed some of the edges were starting to peel. I decided to go ahead and remove all the paper print from the picture. And this did take me a while. I used a box knife and just started peeling the print off. In places, I used nail polish remover to loosen the paper and to help remove the glue. I continued doing this until all the paper and glue were removed. This was a very boring process, and I'm not going to make you watch it. Once I had all the paper and glue removed, I painted the board with black chalk paint and let it dry. I found this coffee house cut file on design bundles and thought it was perfect for this sign. You'll find a link to design bundles in the description below. I sized the file on Design Space, cut the vinyl on my Cricut, weeded the vinyl, and applied the vinyl to some duck shelf liner, which by the way makes great transfer paper. You'll also find a link to it in the description. I centered the design on the board and used my Mod Podge roller to apply the vinyl to the sign. I added a layer of Mod Podge to protect and seal the sign and let it dry. The sign turned out amazing and I love it. It is the perfect accent piece for a coffee bar. If you are interested in purchasing this item, you will find a link in the description to my website where the item will be listed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Happy crafting!